Okay, this is number 2. Let me start again. I cannot cut straight, even with a ruler. And I even had to put the little plastic thingies on the bottom because I moved it. That's how bad I am. Yeah! And a cutting mat. And a rotary cutter. I can't cut straight. I can't draw a straight line on a piece of paper with a pencil and a ruler and markings and anything. I can't, but I found this stuff. It's called quilter's grid. It comes in all different kinds. This one is blue diamonds, and I got one over here. Let me find it. That is, where'd it go? Here it is. That is red dots. These are inch apart. In 1 inch squares, 1 inch squares, just like grid paper. Just like grid paper. And I found this, for some reason, I don't know why I watched this video, but I watched this video, and the lady had fusible. You can get it fusible and not fusible. It's over there by the interfacings and stuff like that. And she was saying how you take and you make your quilt on it. You lay your quilt blocks down on the fusible part, and you iron them down, and then you just sew them. And by gosh, it gives you a straight line because you've got the line to fold on for the straight line, and you got the squares that you can make your squares the right size. Half inch, I don't know how you do half inch. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm not going to go half inch and all that. I'm going to stick with whole numbers because I do better. But anyways, and I started putting this table runner together, and I sewed it. Look at my seam. It's folded over exactly on the blue line, and I sewed it. My sewing machine messed up there, but anyways, I got another one, and I sewed it. It's probably going to be really hard to see. You fold it on the blue lines, and then you sew it at your 1/4 inch mark. And holy cow, look at this. I got my straight seams. So I thought, I bought some of it at a store, 50 cents a yard. I was like, 50 cents a yard? It's like $2 a yard at Joann's. I think it's $1.99, 50% off. That's still a buck, yeah. 50 cents a yard. I don't know how much was on the bolt. I said, give me the whole bolt. I want the whole bolt. 50 cents a yard. If there's 10 yards, it's only $5. And I use this stuff because I make patterns out of it. That's a whole other thing. It's really cool for patterns. So I bought it. And I used some of it up and everything. And I thought, wow, I'm going to use it to do that. Well, this blue one, though, I had. It's the red dot one that I bought a lot of. The blue one I had. So I started thinking, and I want to make my grandkids great quilts. I got to make the quilt tops. Well, I can't cut squares. We can see this. Look at that's supposed to be a 2 inch by 4 inch square, and it's not. Look at how crooked that edge is right there. That's crooked, and I can tell it's crooked. But I do them because I do them just a hair bit bigger than 4 inches to lay them out on the grid. You can see they're not lining up down here where I've done it. You can see they're not lining up with the grid marks. But when I sew it, it'll be straight. Nobody will know. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that. And this, I cut this an inch bigger. What I want, 10, I think I did 8 by 36. 10 by 36, 4, 8, 10 by 36. So I got it 10 wide, 36, but I added an inch on each end for my overhang, so I don't go right up to my edge of my cover of my table runner. I'll cut this extra inch off, and then when I cut it, it'll square it up perfect to do I'm going to do a one-piece backing and binding. So my edge, when I cut this, will be all squared up. Now, I use this cool stuff too, called fabric glue sticks. It's a glue stick and it's fabric. I found some that you can put in a, but what you do is, I can't do this holding the camera, and what you do is just like a regular glue stick. I don't like those other glue sticks because these ones say they don't come up the needle. You just put a strip of it down and you put it down and it folds your thing down. I've gone through probably 15 of these in a couple of years because I don't sew a lot, but I've gone through 6 of them making masks already. But anyways, and it holds down. And then I take heat and bond, which I have on the back of, because this isn't fusible, so I can't put anything on it and make it stick. I put heat and bond on the back of my thing. I got heat and bond, and I got the glue on here. And I got the glue stick on here. You put the glue stick on here, just a little bit, that's all you need. And then you go over to your lines. Watch this. You go over to your lines, and you line it up. I can't look at the camera and line it up too. That just isn't going to work. But you line it up here. You line it up at both edges. Because you're only off a little hair. And when you sew it, that little hair is going to get picked up in here. See, you can see where I was over some. It's might be really hard to tell, but you can see where I had the fabric over. The only way the fabric is going to show over is if you go over 1/4 of an inch, because you're using a 1/4 of an inch seam. This is less than a 1/4 of an inch. That is not a 1/4 of an inch of the square. I know that. I don't know how big it is because it's on. I just used the one thing on the foot, and I thought that was a 1/4 of an inch, but that is not a 1/4 of an inch because that is not a 1/4 of that square. But when you sew it, you pick up all the odd edges, so you don't have any odd pieces showing through unless you cut it way too big. Like this here is too big, but I'm going to cut this down anyways because I had one piece that I messed up on. I had it too big and I counted my squares wrong, and I was cutting it here at 3 inches, not cutting the edge because I had a whole bunch of overhang, and I don't want a whole bunch of overhang when I fold it over, because then it's going to be too thick. So that's how it's laid down. Now see, there's a lot of overhang down here. I might cut that up just a little teeny bit. See, it's not glued. It's glued down with the fabric glue, but I haven't heat and bonded it yet. So I might cut that one a little bit. Then what you do is you take your iron to get the heat and bond activated. You activate the heat and bond. That makes it stick to the quilter's grid. The heat and bond makes it stick to the quilter's grid. So then you can pick it up and do whatever you want with it. And you don't have to. Oh yeah, and that's another thing that got me on this. The lady said quilter's grid is washable. Well, I looked up paper piecing because I didn't understand it. And they said paper piecing, you leave the piece of paper in the applique when you sew it on. And I was like, well, that's really stupid. Paper isn't water soluble. So that's out for me. I am not making something like that because my luck, man, all the paper would crumple and never dry. I'm not doing that. But anyways, this quilter's grid is washable. That's why you can heat and bond right to it. Because they have it fusible. I've seen it fusible. They have it. I never bought fusible. I did have some. I got left some by my boyfriend's wife, a little bit of it, but I don't use it. I think she made patterns out of it. Or I made patterns out of it, something anyways, but I wasn't using it because I make patterns and I didn't want to buy fusible to make patterns. I didn't know you could do this. I just found out about this. So what I did is I took the red grid, the red dotted grid, see it's red dots, and I cut it into 13 by 13 inch squares because I want my blocks. I want my original blocks. I think I'm going to do this. I've spent a lot of time, years thinking on this. I'm going to make my blocks 12 by 12. And all the blocks are going to be totally different. I'm going to use different, there's different forms I've seen on Nancy Zeman where you do like this one, 2 inches, or you can do different widths and different, you can make them L-shaped and all this other stuff. I'm going to put all different kinds of blocks in here, my cut fabric blocks. But my main block is going to be 12 by 12, so I know how many of those I need for each quilt, because I want to make, in the end, 6 quilts. So I started cutting it up, because another thing, if I try to sew all these blocks together, I'm never going to get it. I'm never going to get it right. Never, never, never. But then what you do is, to sew the blocks together, you line it up. I can show you right here, just like you did to sew the lines. You line them up, and then you line up and you know what? When you fold this over, if you fold it over on the line and you have the line lined up, these downward grid lines automatically fall into place. And they have to, by logic, because they're straight lines. They have to. For me, see, mine wouldn't. I'd end up with a really wonky pattern. But anyways, see how you line one up, and look at this, all the rest of them. Well, it's not quite lined up right, but anyways, they'll all fall into place. So what you do is, you line up, and you only have to line up one side at a time. So you line up 2 squares. See, that's why it's not falling right, because it's not lined up right. You line up 2 squares all the way down, and you pin it. Then you sew it. Then you go back and you cut off that excess edge, because you only need a little bit of edging there, because that's all you got here. It's just a teeny bit. So you just go and cut a teeny bit next to your sewing line, and you have all your quilt blocks together. I am so blown away at how I'm going to have this quilt done. I got to get more fabric so I can start doing the quilt. But that's how I am the most crookedest person on the face of the earth. And look at this, is already turning out. I showed my friend it after 3 rows, and she liked it. Look, you can pretty much tell it's already turning out and looking really nice. Once I get the seams sewed, which is at this end down here where I started at, look at that seam there, and this seam. Look at these seams. You can tell where the seams, I sewed the cross seams. I didn't sew these up and down seams. There's the seam there, too. I'm going to do them all down 2 inches. And these ones are going to be 4 inches. That is going to look, and I've got gold backing, because I bought all this at Goodwill. It came in as a package. And I've got gold for the backing. But look at that. I'm going to make a table runner out of, and I can't do cheat. You know what? Don't tell me to do a shortcut to something, because it turns out forever. Man, don't let me drive somewhere. Don't let me read. Don't let me do anything in a shortcut. But I don't know if this is a shortcut or the long way. Well, the way I'm doing it is the long way, because I don't have fusible backing, fusible quilter square, and I'm not going to go out and spend the money. Now, when I buy more, I probably won't even do that. Well, because I'm going to glue it down with my glue stick before I iron it. I just don't trust myself to put it down and not have it move on those little tiny bumps before I iron it. I'm going to have to glue it down with my glue squares, like I'm already doing. But look at that. That is going to be such a nice table runner. And my border's going to be 1 inch. Already, I want 1 inch on the top and then the bottom, but I want 1 inch on the top. That I can't believe that I sewed 2 lines. I tried sewing it on the machine and it just doesn't work. It just does not work. First of all, my squares aren't. But look at this. Look at how nice my squares are going to be 4 inch squares. That's going to turn out so nice. All right. That's it for right now. Let me get this posted and keep working on it so I can do the next step. But that's the biggest cheat. It's not even a cheat. If you're not a straight person and you get so frustrated cutting squares, you can do it. You can do it. They have one in diamonds because I had it. They have it where it's got, instead of the squares, they're laid so it's diamonds, so it looks really funny. Your fabric's going straight across, but instead of looking at the flat lines, you're looking at all the corners going up. And so I guess you could do it if you wanted to make on your quilt, on your block. If you wanted to, you could get the diamond quilt squares, and that's how you would do it. You lay the diamond, because this stuff is really, look, it's really super thin. You can see through it. So that's how you could do it. If you're going to make something on an angle like a triangle, take the size diamond square that you want. Remember, make it 1 inch bigger all the way around so that you can put your overhang on and square it up. And then put your triangle on that. That would be better than trying to turn this and work with this sideways. You already have the lines in a diamond, so when you went corner to corner, you were actually going corner to corner. That's my problem. Yeah, my corner to corner I can't do triangles probably without that. But when you lay your fabric on it corner to corner, I have some around here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. I know I didn't use it all. It'll automatically fall. So if you've got a 3-inch piece and you're going corner to corner, when you go through those 3 squares, even if your top corner and your bottom corner line up, your middle corners have to line up, because that's a rule of logic. They have to fall on the line there. They have to. There's no two hoots about it. And then you could put it on and you could sew it right. When you sew it, then you could sew it from corner to corner on the top, and you'd have it sewn from corner to corner. I might have to get me some of that and try it. And then I can do triangles too. And then you take the triangle size piece you have and lay it, you can just lay it right on top of your other piece of grid, that's your main block, and either have that grid fusible or use the heat and bond stuff and the glue sticks. And when you glue it down, it'll automatically fall. Of course, you cut off your extra inch edge. Make sure you cut your extra inch edge off before you lay it down, or your other blocks are going to be way too thick. And then it'll fall right in place. So when you sew, it'll fall right in place with everything else. Wow, I just gave another idea to myself. This quilt is going to turn out really good since I can do everything I want. Starting of the Grand Kids quilt, I have 20 13 by 13 inch squares, blocks cut out. I need 81 for each quilt, and I'm making 6 quilts. I need 486 12-inch squares. I was trying to figure out how much I could get out of 9 yards of fabric. Would give me, I can't remember how many it was. But then I get these odd pieces. I got a piece 13 by 8. No, 12 by 8. crap, 12 by 8 isn't going to work. It's got to be 13. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 of these together to make it 13 by 13. You just get the heat and bond and heat and bond it down one of them, take it off, and then lay them together and heat and bond them together. And then you can cut off the one side back down, and that'll work too. I'll show you guys all this stuff, but I just wanted you to see. I just wanted to show that people who are not straight can quilt and make it turn out straight. That's the whole thing. All right, let me get this done and put up on YouTube. It's going on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Lois Avon Divas, my YouTube channel. For my Avon, but I have to put my quilting stuff there too, I guess, because I don't know how I can do another YouTube channel without paying for it. All right, bye.